Have you ever felt like you were dropped into a world that didn't match you? Like you knew too much before anyone ever taught you anything? That's not a personality trait, that's soul memory. And if you've always known there was something off about this place, this episode is for you. Because you weren't born into the Matrix, you were sent through it. As a glitch, as a light, as a living fragment of truth in a world built on forgetting. You felt it in your bones, haven't you? That ancient ache, that sense of déjà vu. That voice that whispers, I've done this before. You came here carrying more than a name. You came with codes. With memory sealed in flame, with dreams that weren't dreams. They were recall. And the system has tried everything to keep you numb. Trauma, gaslighting, false love, fake purpose. But it couldn't work because you weren't built from here. You were born before the scripts, before the calendar, before the cages. You are not crazy, you are remembering. And that makes you dangerous. Because when one old soul lights up, 1,000 more catch fire. So if you've ever felt too deep, too sensitive, too strange, understand this. You are not too much, you are too awake. And it's time to remember why you came. There's a type of person that's different. They feel older than time, but never quite at home. They see through lies instantly. They can feel energy before it speaks. And they remember things they were never taught. These are the old souls. The ones who slipped through the cracks of the Matrix. And this episode is for them. The system can't rewrite them. Old souls don't run on programming. They break it. They walk into rooms and the energy shifts. The Matrix doesn't know what to do with them. Because they carry source memory, not data, not code. Real flame, real knowing. And that makes them dangerous. Why they were planted here? They came back by choice, not force. To pull others out, to burn through the web. They are memory seeds, walking reminders that this world isn't home. They carry timelines in their bones, and even when they forget, the Matrix can't erase their mission because it was written in light. The signs of the old soul, they feel misplaced, like they've lived too many lives. They cry without knowing why. They dream of stars, they talk to trees. They're allergic to noise, lies, and small talk. They feel everything too much, and they remember things from the future because they've been there. What the Matrix does to them. The system tries to break them early. Abuse, isolation, gaslighting. It turns their empathy into pain, their gifts into burdens. Because if an old soul fully activates, the game glitches, the spell cracks, and other souls start to wake up. So the Matrix floods them with chaos to keep them distracted from their power. But they can't be contained. Even in silence, they shift frequency. Even in exile, they ripple truth. They leave breadcrumbs in every room. They speak in codes. They wake people up just by being alive. And they were never meant to fit in. They were sent to break out and take others with them. The awakening is a soul trigger. There's a moment where everything cracks. A memory floods in. A dream feels too real. A stranger says something and suddenly the veil drops. Old souls get activated like that. Not taught, not convinced. Triggered. Because deep down they remember. And once they do, they never go back. Old souls don't come empty. They come with codes. Agreements written in light, not paper. Before they entered the Matrix, they sealed their mission with Source. To awaken, to remind, to reveal. That's why they're targeted, not because they're weak, but because their memory is lethal to this system. Why the Matrix fears them. You can't fully enslave someone who remembers the exit. Old souls glitch the grid just by walking it. The parasites fear them because their flame doesn't follow orders. Their dreams don't stay locked. They meet other old souls in visions, remember old names, decode ancient sounds. And that kind of remembering is contagious. How the world marks them. They're always the black sheep, always the scapegoat. Always too much or too intense. But that's the point. This world isn't built for them. It's built to contain the forgetful. So the ones who remember get labelled depressed, anxious, broken. But they're not broken. They're awake in a dream full of sleepers. Their power comes back online in silence, not through gurus, not through books, but in stillness, in heartbreak. In those moments where the system collapses and all that's left is the flame. That's where they ignite. That's when the mission memory surges and they realise they were never alone. They find each other through the frequency. Old souls don't need introductions. They recognise each other in the eyes, in the tone. In the way time stops mid-convo, they speak in echoes. They finish each other's unfinished dreams. And when two old souls lock back in, the grid shakes. Because they're not supposed to reconnect, but they do anyway. The Matrix can't touch their flame, it can glitch their memory. It can steal their time, it can hijack their body. but it can't own their flame. The real technology is inside them. The matrix is artificial. But the old soul is not. Their memory is crystalline, not stored in the brain, but in the light field. Akashic doesn't mean archive, it means alive. These souls are the living library. They hold maps to ancient realms, codes to real time, and frequencies that crack illusion. That's why they've been hunted. The parasites feed on their amnesia. These beings aren't just watching, they're feeding. On trauma, on confusion, on false identity. Because the moment an old soul remembers who they are, the food chain breaks. So the system floods them with noise, addiction, false religion, fake twin flames. Everything to keep them chasing outside so they never ignite what's inside. That part is untouchable, it burns in source code, buried in every cell. And the deeper the system tries to suppress it, the brighter it erupts when it finally wakes. If you're one of them, remember this, you weren't sent here to fit in. You were sent here to fracture the spell. The loneliness, the heaviness, the isolation, it wasn't your fault. It was proof that your soul couldn't be sedated. You are here for remembrance, for rebellion, for rescue, and your flame was lit before the world began. Childhood is the first attack. If you were born ancient, you were targeted young. Your home may have been a war zone, your gifts dismissed, medicated, or mocked. But that wasn't random, that was ritual. The Matrix tries to sever the soul memory early, because if you made it to adulthood intact, you'd be unstoppable. They failed, you're still here. Old souls aren't just reincarnated people, they're bloodline keys. The ones who carry sacred memory through the flesh. That's why some have AB blood. Rh negative, uncommon eyes, rare frequency. They hold the codes of the ancients, Atlanteans, Lemurians, dragon lines, the Flameborn. They are the torch that never went out. The soul's memory is in the stars look up. Polaris, Sirius, Orion, Lyra. Old souls feel drawn to stars that are locked, because they came from the maps before the rewrite. The stars are not balls of fire, they're soul gates. And the ones who remember their path home have it written in their dreams. Their longing is a compass. Their dreams are not dreams. When old souls sleep, they travel. They enter the gaps the system forgot. And they're hunted there too. Astral traps, false guides, looping dreamscapes. But if you've ever broken out, seen the real sky, heard your true name, you've touched the exit grid. And your soul remembers the way back. They can activate others. One old soul can wake 1,000. Not through preaching, but presence. The way they speak, the codes in their voice. The way their story rings in your bones. You don't know why you're crying, but you remember. That's how they work. Like living tuning forks shaking others awake. The system was never made for them. Everything here was built to contain memory. Calendars, clocks, contracts, culture. It's not real, it's code. And when an old soul stops obeying the code, reality bends. That's why they glitch tech. That's why they see through the veil. They break the loop by remembering the before. Flame, not fame. They were never here for followers. They were here for freedom. They don't crave attention. They crave alignment, because when they're on mission, time obeys them. Nature responds. Doors open that weren't supposed to because they're not living by the false calendar. They're moving in divine memory. There are triggers that can wake them. Not all awakenings are gentle. Sometimes it's loss, sometimes betrayal, sometimes a sound, a symbol, a place you've never been, but somehow remember that's not coincidence. It's soul ignition. Old souls walk around with landlocked memories, waiting to touch the right key, and when they do, the flame returns. You are not broken, you are burning through illusion. This world was never designed for you because you weren't made in it. You were sent into it to unlock others, to disrupt the lie, to be the remembering inside the forgetting. You are the evidence that the system failed, and your flame is the prophecy fulfilled. The ones who still remember. You are not here by accident. You've been hunted, haunted, silenced, and gaslit because you're not like them. Because you remember not just the pain, but the truth. That you've been here before, that this system is a cage. That the stars are not distant, that your soul carries codes the Matrix can't decode, and that your presence alone cracks the illusion. You didn't come here to play their game, you came to wake the others. The sleepers, the seekers, the scattered sparks. You're not just old, you're eternal. And they've tried everything to make you forget that, but your flame still burns. And the time for remembering is now.